What's going on, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. It's good to see you guys again. I like helping people using a spiritual perspective, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about peace and why it's so elusive. Why does the feeling of peace seem to always be 1 to 2 steps away from clearly inhabiting our physical presence, right? To actually feel that feeling of calmness and a sort of inner knowing, right? Why is it so elusive? So I'm going to try and make a quick video, I hope a short one, about why that is. Why is it so elusive? Why does it seem to dance around you wildly, right? Never really being able to be contained properly, okay? So what I do notice about peace, and this is of course just my experience with it, I don't claim to be a master on anything except maybe procrastination and self-deprecation. But other than that, I'm just speaking from experience. So in my experience, peace is something that is so elusive because it's often thought about in terms of outcomes. Okay, so when you think about the external world and you think about everything you can see and touch and hear and smell, um, and it really becomes something that you feel is outside of you. Okay, now what I mean by that, because of course so many spiritual people obviously will talk about this idea of peace and happiness and love, always being inside, and that if you're trying to seek it outwards, you're gonna have a very hard time finding it, and that is true. But what does it really mean by that? Okay, so let's dissect. When we talk about peace, we're talking about a feeling of nothing. Essentially, peace exists as an absence of having to do anything. Okay, anytime you've actually experienced peace in your life, maybe you were sitting listening to the birds, maybe you're sitting outside listening to the birds, maybe you're feeding them, maybe you're just sitting on a park bench, maybe you were having a drink on a nice beach somewhere watching the sunset. Any feeling of peace, regardless of if you were doing something externally or just sitting and doing nothing but existing, peace, the feeling exists from within. It comes from within, right? No matter what you're doing, it comes from within. It's your experience first, then it goes to the outward, right? Not the other way around. So when we think of peace, we think of outcomes. When we're trying to chase something, we're chasing an outcome. Now, you may have a definition of success that is based upon an outcome, and many people do. You may do something in order to get something. Your idea of success may be, if I have the brand new car, that will make me happy. And happiness is still a sort of, it's really a sort of misguided attempt at peace. Happiness is more egoic, more human than it is natural and soulful. Okay, it's good, but it's not as good as getting peace. Peace is really what people are after. Happiness is almost the symptom of feeling at peace. I mean, after all, if you feel peaceful, you're more likely to feel happy rather than depressed or sad or anxious, right? So peace is really what we're after, right? So when we say that, I need to be successful, I want to be successful, we're looking at things of outcomes. We're looking at recognition. I want to publish several successful books, right? So that means getting an outcome. And the idea is that if I publish those several successful books, that will bring me that will bring me a feeling of peace or happiness, right? But again, we're going with peace here. It'll bring me a feeling of peace. But the reason that I can't obtain that peace is because of my goal. My goal is that I determine my success by my ability to produce and publish several successful books. Okay, it's just an example that we're going with. It could be anything, could be the song that you're trying to write, an art piece, the job, the car, making it to the top of your law firm, becoming a doctor, getting that college degree, whatever your idea of success is, different for everybody, right? But the idea is you'll have peace at the end. You'll have peace towards the outcome of that goal. And so what happens is, for my example, once I reach publishing several successful books, I'll have gotten a feeling of peace. But that's an outcome determined that is far in the future. Maybe not too far, but farther away from here. And the outcome is uncertain, unstable, and unpredictable, right? It could happen tomorrow, it could happen next year, it may never actually happen. And so the feeling of peace is also going to be unstable and uncertain, okay, and unpredictable. It's going to be always fleeting. And that's why it's so hard to really capture it. It's why it's so elusive. Because most of our goals in life are outcome based. It's the way society is, for better or for worse, set up. Probably helped us evolve as a species towards our next goals as an evolved collective. But right now it serves to really delude a lot of people into what their motivations and values truly are. Because if you're trying to base your success on an outcome, the feeling of peace will always be sporadic. It will always sort of appear and disappear, and you won't get to feel it for very long. Because the thing about peace is, it isn't anything you have to do, as I already mentioned earlier. It's something you feel when you're doing nothing. Okay, I had some beautiful moments of peace earlier. I was just walking around this neighborhood that I'm at right now, and listening to the birds, just smelling the air, I guess. Uh, I felt very peaceful. The breeze was beautiful. The breeze had a lot to do with it. The weather was very nice outside. So I felt very peaceful. There's lots of stuff going on in my vicinity that is the opposite of what you would consider peaceful. There's homeless people begging for money and change. There's poor people, homeless people, of course, but I mean, like, people struggling up and down the streets. There's people with injuries. There's loud sirens. There's streetcars passing by, buses. Lots of honking, people chattering, stuff like that. Some people yelling, some people cursing. Going up. This woman riding on a bike, just going fuck, fuck, like cursing. I don't know. She must have a conversation with somebody or something, but she didn't seem like she was too happy. There's lots of things that would sort of not be considered peaceful. Okay, and any other time they might not be, right? That's the idea. But my walk wasn't to do something. There was no goal of my walk. My goal was sort of to just explore. Okay, it was a very open-ended goal. It didn't really have anything to do on outcomes. It wasn't that I needed to go discover a park, or that I needed to find a place to eat, or that I needed to go to a grocery store. It was just an open-ended thing. Okay, and so peace was allowed to come into me because I had no outcome. It was just me existing for the sake of existing, and it didn't matter whether or not I died. I'm glad that I didn't, I suppose, but it didn't really matter because I didn't need to do anything. I still, everything else was in the background. I still have my dreams and my aspirations and my personality and everything that was still existing within me. It didn't go away. It's just with the feeling of peace, it was allowed to shine through all of that. And that's the thing, is when we feel peace, true peace inside of ourselves, we didn't have to do anything to get there. We just had to sort of look away or back away from our egos, back away from the stories that are going on, back away from the chatter. Nothing you really need to do in particular. You just need to disengage with your own self. And that looks different to people, but the idea is with our ego, we sort of like seem to wake up at some point with our ego with a sword in our hand, and somebody's attacking us with their sword, and we immediately start attacking back. We defend ourselves. And so people wonder how come they're not able to shut off their ego, how come they're not able to make great rapid personal changes, how come they can't find that peace. Well, they're battling their ego. They're never stopping to ask themselves, why am I doing this? Why are they attacking me? Why did I wake up like this? What is going on? The only way to beat your ego is to disengage, is to stop fighting it, is to stop waging war. People think that you need to wage war to win victories, but you don't. If two sides didn't fight at all, there'd be no massive loss of death. Okay, so at least a spiritual way of looking at it. Historically, maybe wars were important. I'm not going to argue that here today, but the idea is that internally within yourself, if you don't engage, if you don't battle with your ego, that's how you really end up conquering it. Otherwise, you can't conquer your ego, your subconscious, through force. It doesn't work like that. And when you try to do that, and when you're living in a system, in a society based upon outcome produced thinking, you don't really have time to find peace, because you're constantly trying to do this and trying to do that and trying to accomplish this, trying to accomplish that. And we have our own personal things. Your mom might have just died. You might be homeless next week. You're feeling a little bit down. You just got your heart broken. You didn't get the job. Maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend dumped you. There's lots of things that we go through on just a daily basis that takes you away from peace already. It's a sort of pain, right, or suffering, even if it's prolonged. And that stuff really just keeps even more the peace is sort of just way farther away than you would like it to be. And so that feeling that you're trying to catch it's never going to be caught. It's like that butterfly, right? And there's some kind of quote, not by me, that says something along the lines of, you're trying to catch a butterfly, doesn't work, but when you stop, it lands on you. Okay, something like happiness, right? I think it's like happiness is like trying to catch a butterfly. When you stop, it comes to you, right? But more or less, it's more truthful with peace, right? Happiness is more perspective, almost even more of a choice than peace is. Peace is a natural state. Happiness is not a natural state of being. Happiness comes and goes. I don't think life would be great or exciting if you were happy all the time. Sometimes being happy is actually quite derivative and even stops you from reaching certain goals. I've created some of my best creative work from places of great depression. I don't subscribe to the idea that you need to be depressed to create great artwork. However, pain and experience helps. Okay, so in any case, happiness is not really what we're talking about again, right? We're talking about peace. Peace is a natural state. And when you're not trying to conquer yourself, you are open. You're open to something that's already there. So again, the example of me walking. I was just walking with no idea, no outcome in mind. I just wanted to experience the exploration with a curious, childlike innocence about me. That was the attitude that I had. Didn't have to do anything in particular. I just had to walk. I just had to do that one thing that I already enjoyed doing. There's no obligation to do it. Nobody's forcing me to go outside. That is my choice, right? And that allowed me to feel at least 30, almost 40 minutes of just pure peace. It ended a little bit abruptly, but I'm not going to tell that part of the story. But for the large part, 40 minutes, pretty good feeling of just peace, walking through, feeling like I was the breeze. Okay, nothing magical happened. Nobody offered me $1 million. Nobody offered me a dream job. I didn't suddenly get clarity about all my life. However, I was able to have downloads from my own higher self. I was allowed to connect with what was going on around me, all the cacophony and all the sound, everything. I was part of it and yet completely separate of it at the same time. And there's that piece. You realize that it's actually there all along. You don't have to do anything to get to it. It's a natural state. Completely there. It's like, like a trampoline over grass. You don't get to see the grass when the trampoline is there, but if you remove it, you'll see that the grass was always there. It wasn't like there was some patch of your lawn missing the entire time. No, it was always there. So that's kind of the idea, right? When we live in this outcome-based algorithms of seeing the world and ourselves, and rather than the process of existing, as much in the present moment, I suppose, as you could be, uh, you're always going to find that peace is fleeting and it's just always somewhere else. It's never going to last. It doesn't give you what it is that you need, and that's why sometimes some things that do give you peace externally don't again the next time. Smoking weed used to give me incredible amounts of peace. It wasn't necessarily that weed was the answer, but the drug at the time in my life, plus that it was a relaxant, and that I was, of course, when you smoke, you're taking deep breaths. So all that combined was leading me to feelings of peace. And then you couple that with maybe some good music and a sunset, a beautiful view or whatnot, some good company maybe, and you've got your quote unquote feeling of peace. And then eventually the weed did not bring me peace. Was it because of the music? Did the music stop it? What happened? Was it the sunset not as beautiful as before? No, it was it was relying on X to give me Y. But Y is already in you. It's an equation that doesn't need anything. See, peace again is something that doesn't need anything to do. You shouldn't have to do anything to get to peace. The only thing that's in the way of your own natural state of peace is you versus you. That's it. Other people may bother you, things may happen, you may be going through moments in your life that suck. This isn't a video about how to get over all your moments in your life, all the shitty ones, nor is it really even a video to help you appreciate everything in your life more. It's not one of those videos. This video is to simply tell you that if you want to access an inner state of peace, your own natural state, which will better help you than anything else, really, because if you're in that state, you're going to be able to receive more information. So if you want to get in that natural state and to just be in a place where you can at least come up with solutions in a natural, easy, flow-like way, just stop trying to conquer your mind. Stop trying to battle with yourself. Don't Don't pick up the sword and attack yourself. It doesn't work. It hurts you. It causes you more suffering. Pain is one thing. Pain is being stabbed by a knife. Someone stabs you. Blah. Pain. Oh my God, I got hurt. I got stabbed. Oh my God, I shouldn't have walked alone at night. That sucks. Maybe not. But you got stabbed. As fun as that may be, and you are in pain. It hurts. I got stabbed before, so I know what it feels like. And suffering is continuing to walk through your daily life, weeks, months, years at a time, with the knife still in you. That's suffering. And then moaning and complaining about it the whole time. Oh my God, my knife, it's stuck. It hurts so bad. Take it out. Take it out, right? Maybe you need help taking it out. Obviously, you should leave a knife until you have a doctor nearby. You don't want to bleed out. But for metaphorical purposes, you want to take that knife out. You want to allow yourself to heal. So pain is quick and easy, it's instant. Suffering is prolonged, it's chronic, right? And so when it comes to your own sort of ego and your own battle within yourself, if you're going to engage with the story, whether or not it's negativity or apathy or I can't speak English, self-deprecation, whatever it may be, doubt, anything, anxiety. If you're gonna fight it, if you're gonna fight your own thoughts and your own feelings, again, you versus you, basically, you're not going to win. You're only gonna make things harder. If you just stop giving a shit, essentially letting go, which is the cornerstone of pretty much all philosophies and ideas of religions, maybe not religions per se, but the ideas of sort of inner spirituality throughout time, they all have this element of letting go, right? There is that religious quote or phrase, whatever it is, let go, let God, right? This idea of giving away your sort of, giving away all of your anguish to something else, okay? It could be a God. I don't believe in a man-made God, but I don't necessarily need you to not believe in it. But it could be the universe, it could be source, it could be it could be just your parents, it could be your best friends, it could be anything that you believe is a source of love that could possibly, quite just a little bit, know more than you, okay? And that just might be everything that exists, okay? Just giving it away, just deciding to put it down. You realize that nothing has immediately changed in your life except for you. You now are completely aware and open to anything that could be new and different and be a solution. Okay, so if you want to feel that inner state, stop trying to battle yourself. It does take a great deal of letting go, which are often series of humps and setbacks and moments of just great grief, really. But eventually you do reach a point where you just go, you know what, fuck it, I don't know, I don't care. And peace is allowed. But again, you don't want to have outcomes for things. If you set an outcome up, which is an expectation, then you've already started from a really not so good place, let's say. Could be better. Could be a lot better. You have a better chance of experiencing peace if you don't set yourself an outcome. And that may be hard, and it doesn't necessarily guarantee success with something. Again, if I want to publish a series of successful books, if I'm just focusing on the process, I'm just going to put my heart and my soul into my work. Why am I doing this? What's my intent? Who is this for? And I focus on why I care about doing it more than what it may lead to, I have a better chance of success. Even if I fail once or twice, I have a better chance of success in the future. Outcome-based causes nothing but suffering, and you can limit your suffering if you choose to. And if you want to engage with your peaceful, natural state, stop battling yourself, stop giving yourself expectations and outcomes. Try to just live your life one day at a time. Easier said than done, possibly, but over time you will grasp this concept, and I hope with not as much painful memories as the ones that I seem to have bestowed upon myself through my own nice little magical life. Anyway, guys, I hope this video helped. A little bit longer than I thought it should be, but in any case, I hope you guys get some good stuff out of it. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and we will talk very soon, I hope. All right, guys, bye-bye.